So what we are discussing in the last class, OOLP, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
So any questions in the last classes?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. And then we'll start today's class. What we discussed in the last class, classical report we finished, and after that we finished that block ALV, right? So then dynamic ALV. What is this dynamic ALV? Means the container itself movable. That is the dynamic ALV. We'll see that example now. So you have to follow the step by step so that it is easy to build this reports. So only display part is going to write like this. Remaining will be the same. Selection screen will be the same. For that events will be the same. Selection screen events will be the same. Start of selection, end of selection will be the same. Okay. Start of selection, end of selection will be the same. Only instead of displaying, you are going to use loop and write for the classical report. You're going to use reuse LV grid display for LV reports. You're going to use the screen, then using these classes for the OOLV. Yeah, remaining will be the same. I'm just going to take the same example, but we are going to see with the dynamic LV. Select options S underscore yarnum for CD underscore yarnum and start of selection. Select star from VBAK into table VBAK where yarnum in S underscore yarnum if SY sub RC equal to 0 and then we are going to declare this. How to declare data? Data is the keyword. ZTVBAK type standard table of VBAK. VVER tab VBAK hyphen num. Okay. So just activate it and then call the screen. Call screen 9005. Double click on that just to create. Save the program demo. Just go to the layout. So normally what we are doing, we are dragging and dropping the custom controller. What is the meaning of that? Means I'm just reserving the space. Font చాలా అంతే ఒక చూపించు డాడీకి. So we are going to drag and drop the custom controller, which is reserving the space. I don't want to reserve the space here. It should be dynamic. So I'm not going to drag and drop the custom controller. So I'll just activate it and then come back. I'm not drag and dropped. So just created the screen. After that, go to the Pro Logic and go to the module, uncomment the module, double click on the module, S to create. Where? In the main program. Click on continue, save the screen. Now we are just going to add. So what I need to do? I need to convert that custom controller to container. How to do that? Zivo underscore cont. So but it is dynamic container. So I'm just giving dcont or any name you can give. Type ref to the class name. What is the class name? So there is a docking container. The class name is called docking container. CL underscore GUI underscore LV underscore docking underscore container. Some spell mistake or something. 1 second, I'll open. CL underscore GUI underscore docking underscore container. So this is the class. So LV is not there. That's it. Docking container. I'm just going to refer to this class. So first step will be reference. Done. Then what you need to do? Create object. How to create the object? Go here. Pattern button. Ababp object patterns and create object. Use the class name zero underscore p cont, and then what you need to do. So this is the container where you want to see. Which side you want to see? You want to see at the left side, right side, top or bottom. So these are the constants in this class. You can go to that class, go to the attributes, click on find, give this docket left. You can see left side. The container will be on the left side. Docket top, the container will be on the top. Docket bottom, the container will be at the bottom. Docket right, the container will be at the right. I want to use not left, I want to use right. But this is a constant. Constant means it will have memory. So static means how we are going to call class name, double arrow, that attribute name. Here also same. Constant means we are going to call class name, double arrow, the constant name. So I just don't want in the left class name, double arrow, and the docket right. Docket right. Okay. Exporting and the side which I'm just taken. And extension by default, what is that? Width. I want 150 characters by default. This is my docking container. Fine. Then what to do? My container is ready. 0D is my container. Then in that we need to pass the grid and data. The same similar. It is not going to change at all. The same class. Vivo grid. Type ref2 cl underscore GUI. 1 second. Huh? Sorry for the break. Is it audible, ma?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So what we did, we are using CL underscore new underscore LV underscore grade. So this is as usual, the same class we are going to use it for grade. Call screen, flow logic, just creating in the same main program. Okay, first we need to refer the class. So what is the class? Docking container. For that, LV, DCONT, or you can take anything, type ref2, real underscore GUI underscore docking underscore container. Refer this class. And then we are going to create the object for that class inside this pattern button, Ababp object patterns, create object, VDCONT, and here what we need to do, exporting which side. Okay, side will be in the same class. I want not a docket left, I want docket right. Open that class and take, and how much extension I want. Basically, I'm just taking 150 characters and then uncomment the exceptions. Then activate it. What is that? DCONT, create object. What happened? Where I refer?
డిక్లరేషన్‌లో ఏఎల్‌విడి
Uh,
రాసాను.
ZDOCONT. Yeah, done. Okay. So what we need to do next, we need to pass the grid and data. That will be the same. You're going to refer to the same class and then you're going to create the object and then pass the data by using set table for first display. Zero grid type ref2 CL underscore Q underscore LV underscore grid pattern Ababp object patterns create object zero grid CL underscore Geo underscore LV underscore grid join CO where I need to say DCONT. So that is the container where I'm going to pass this grid and uncomment the exceptions. Once it is done, then we are going to use set table for first display, the same method so that we can pass the data. Pattern, ABAP object patterns, call the method. So what is that instance? Zero grade is the instance name and the class name is this and then the method name is set table for first display. So this is the method. So with this method, we are going to display the data. So one daily I'm taken all the fields of one table so that I can pass the structure name. So what is the structure name? VBAK is the structure name and internal table is ZTVBAK and then uncomment the exceptions. Done. Activate it and then go to the module and double click on the screen and activate. Come back, activate it. Then I'm just going to run this the same. But before and all, we just used a custom controller, means reserve the space for the display. But now what we did, dynamically we said, yeah, I want docket right. If you want docket left, docket top, docket bottom, like that you can say. And you can see this is movable container. You can just move it how you want. Like that you can adjust this container. So the movable container is called dynamic container, is called docking container. By using the docking container class, we can achieve. I said docket right, and extension is by default 150 characters, and you can increase or decrease this size like this. Clear, ma?
Yeah, ma'am.
So before and all, what we are doing, we are just dragging and dropping the custom controller. Means whatever the area you drag and drop, that is reserved for the output. It is fixed size. But instead of doing that in the screen, I'm just going to say which side I want, what is the basic extension, means how many characters by default I want. I'm just saying that. That's it. Remaining process is same, passing the grid and data. If you want to split this container also, you can use the same splitter container and get container. You can pass the physical containers, and then you can pass the logos and text. You can pass the grid and data. Anything, everything is the same. You can do it. But only the difference is instead of dragging and dropping the custom controller and making that as a container, I use the docking container so that dynamically which side you want you can specify. Clear, ma?
Yeah, ma'am.
So this is about the docking container, which is dynamic container. Then we have that, what is that? Interactive report. So that is only leftover. Remaining everything is done. Correct? So in the interactive report, what we learned in the last class. So in ALV interactive report, we have line interaction, button interaction. Both comes under interactive only. If you click on the line interaction, user command will trigger in the ALV report. And if you click on the button interaction also, user command is going to trigger. Under that, how you will find either it is like line interaction, button interaction means by seeing the SY form value so that you can identify whether it is line interaction or button interaction. Correct? To add the buttons, we have one more event called PF status set. Remember?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. Now in the OVOLV, okay, so we are having the events. Yes, we are having the events. Here also we have button interaction and line interaction. For button interaction, so this is a screen what we created, correct? So that's the reason this back button is not working. Why? Because this is what? In the screen, in the screen it is. Our own screen it is. For that we are not written any action. That's the reason there is no action for that button. What we need to do, we need to create our own GUI status and then attach. How to create our own status? SE41 is the transaction code. Slash o SE41 is the transaction code. Where you need to create the status. What is that? GUI status always program dependent. Copy that program, do that, and Z22 status. Just click on create status for OVALV or whatever it is. Then click on continue. So you can add whatever the button you want. I'm just activating back button, BACK, and then activate. I just added only one button called back. Activated. Now how to attach this GUI status? Just go here under the screen, under the PBO event, set PF status is the keyword, and we're going to add the status. Z22 status. Okay, activate it. So status got added. Then for that status, what we need to do, we need to action, we need to write. So just use the uncomment the module, double click on that. Yes, to create, choose the same main program, save the screen. Now write if syucom equal to BSEK. If you have multiple FCP codes, you will write case. What we are going to do, leave program. That is the keyword. This we saw that in the module pool programming also same. Here also same I'm just doing. Go back and activate the screen. Now come back and activate this and then run it. You can see that CURA and then run. So this is coming screen. Click on back. It is coming out of the program. So before there is no action for the back and the button is not added because that is our own screen. The GUI status is not added and the actions also not returned. This is called button interaction. This we already learn in the module pool programming how to attach our own buttons for that in under PI event how to write the code. Correct? Any questions up to here?
No, ma'am.
Can we go for the next?
Yeah, ma'am.
What is the next? Next one will be line interaction. For example, I'm just running this program and when I'm just selecting this 5004, then show me that pass the data to VBAP and get that information and display. So that I want. For line interaction, so what we can do? So where you are double clicking in the grid. So how we are passing the grid? So you can see CL underscore GUI underscore LV grid is the class to pass the grid. In that only I am displaying the data. There only they are just double clicking. CL underscore GUI underscore LV underscore grid. So go for that. Inside that there is a event called double click. Event called double click. So this is the event which is going to trigger when you double click. From this event, what I can get? I can get the hero. What is there in the hero means index number. So that I can pass that index number, get that number and pass to VBAP and get the information. Okay. So this is I want. The event is double click. Under that hero is the one which is having the index number. So now what I need to do whenever they're selecting this event is triggering. When this event is triggering, I want to call a method. So what kind of method it is? Event handler method. Where to write that? I don't want to write globally because I'm not using anywhere else outside. In this program only I want that. So I'm just going to write the local class and local method. How to write the local class? Class, class name, definition, and class. And then class, class name, implementation, and class. And inside that, what is the visibility? Public section so that I can create the object and call. Under that methods, what is the method I want? M1 method, which is event handler method. So M1 for event. Which event? The event is double click. Okay. Of class, where it is? In the class called CL underscore J underscore LV grid. From that, what I want? Importing. I'm going to take the value of hero. Done. So this is my method, event handler method. This method need to be triggered whenever there double clicking on the data, and it is there in the grid, and I'm going to take the value of hero. Now I'm going to write the implementation of the method m1 end method. Now we are going to write the code inside that. Read table GTVBAK into GSVBAK index. Where is the index? In the E underscore row, there is an index. So pass that index number and get the data. If SY sub RC equal to 0 and if then select star from VBAP into table GTVBAP where VBLN equal to GES VBAK hyphen VBLN. If SY sub RC equal to 0 index. And what I need to do, I need to display. Display means again call screen 9000. What is that? 6, 5 is done, 6. So double click on that screen. S to create. Yes. You can use dynamic container or you can use normal custom controller. Dynamic container I shown in 9005. So here I'm showing again custom controller so that you can see both the example in one. I'm just using this custom controller. Drag and drop means whatever you area you drag and drop, that is reserved for the output. CONT is the custom controller name. Just activate it and then come back. So remaining process will be the same. Uncomment the module. Double click on that. S to create. Where in the same main program I want to create, save it. And here what you need to do, you need to create the object for reference and then create the object and call the method. All the 3 steps are same. So I'm just first referring both the classes here. CONT type ref2 cl underscore geo underscore custom underscore container revo grid grid1 type ref2 cl underscore geo underscore lv underscore grid. Done. So now we're just going to do that pattern. Abap object patterns. Create object. CL underscore J underscore custom underscore container. What is the instance name for? 0 underscore CONT. So I'm going to pass the custom controller name. CONT is the custom controller name. And then uncomment the exceptions. Then we are going to call, what is that? Pattern button. Abap object patterns. Create object for grid 1. CL underscore J underscore LV grade. So where we are going to pass CO underscore CONT is the container. In that I'm going to pass this grid and comment the exceptions. Then use the set table for first display to get the display the data. Pattern. Abap object patterns. Call the method. What is that? LV grade instances grid 1 and then set table for first display. So this is the one. So wantedly, I'm just taken structure name so that I can pass that structure name VBAP, and internal table is ZT VBAP. Uncomment the exceptions. Then so done. If I'm activating, it is going to throw error because why? Because I'm not declared CT, VBAP, GS, VBAP, all these things. So first declarations, GS, VBAK, type VBAK, ZT, VBAP, type standard table of VBAP, and then activate it. So activated. So both the screens I need to activate 9005. Yes, it is activated. Come back and created one more screen 9006 activated. Yes, it is not activated. I'm just activated now and then come back. So okay, fine. I created local class and local method where I referred, where I created the object, where I called. Correct. First reference. Where to do the reference? Here you need to do the reference. So 0 underscore, okay, int type ref2 zcl. So, but where is the class? Class is after this. Reference is happening in the top. Is it going to allow you? No. So it will throw the error. Where is the class? Correct? It will throw the error. But can you refer it afterwards? No. Always the declarations will be on the top only. Then what to do? At that time, you're not facing this for global because it is global outside. You can use wherever it is. But if this is local class, you need to write in the code down only, declarations on top only. Then how to achieve this? Means class, class name, ZCL, definition, deferred. Means in the further lines, this class is already available. Just take the reference. See, now there is no error. Done. Okay, so reference is done. Then create the object. When I need to create the object, see, when I'm just double clicking, where I'm double clicking in the Zivo grade, in the ZTVB data, I'm double clicking. So I'm just going to write here, create object, create object, Zivo int. Done. That pattern button won't work for the local classes. Then normally how we will call the method? Call method Vivo int arrow m1. This is how normal method will be called. But this is the event handler method. How to call that? Set handler. Set handler is the keyword. Vivo int the method m1 for where it is going to trigger 0 underscore grid. In that it is going to trigger. So normal method we will call like this, but it is an event handler method. That's the reason we use set handler keyword. Now I just activated. You can see I'll show in the debugging mode. So how it is going to trigger. I'm just keeping the breakpoint here. You can keep normal session breakpoint or external. Anything is fine. Session is fine. This is inside the program only. Just run it. You can see I'm going to double click on 5040. See, whenever I double click, it is triggered. That event handler method got triggered. Under that index fifth record, I'm just double click. It is going to read the data in the GSVBAK VPL, and I have that information. Pass that to select statement and get the data and display the data. So this is how it's going to display. This is line interaction. But this back button won't work because this is 9006 screen, which we are not activated that back button. Clear? Is it clear, ma? So what we did, we created the local class and local method, but in the local method also we created that event handler method. So whenever you want to call event handler method, you need to use set handler keyword. And when you are referring the class above and the class is below local class, then you can use class name definition deferred. These are the two new things you learn today. So class name definition deferred you can use when you want to refer before the class. And then when you want to call normal methods, how to call, but this is event handler method, how to call by using set handler. Remaining and all as usual same, only this is got changed. Is it clear, ma?
Yeah, ma'am.
Any questions? With this, I finish that OOALV. And tomorrow we are going to see like miscellaneous concepts, like how to create a transaction code for this program and how you're going to download the data. And we have a message class concept. After that, we have like a performance tuning techniques. We have two tools to measure the performance. The two tools how to run, and at that time I'm going to explain this is the statement which need to be used, this is the statement which not supposed to use. Up to now whatever the syntaxes you learn, every syntax you need to check and come so that it is easy to understand. I'll say that a select and select for multiple records not supposed to use, select into table use, avoid into corresponding fields, means all the select statements are covered. Same like that in the declaration, same like that in the processing statements, which is the correct statement, which is not supposed to use. I'm going to explain, ma. Okay?
Amen.
Yeah. Tomorrow also I'm going to take the same time class, but it will be like a 2 hours class. I'll just take so that we will cover all these miscellaneous concepts. Okay, ma?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a good
Okay.
day.
Thank
Thank you.
Bye.